What are the chances that Congress is going to be able to pass the appropriation bills? And what happens if they don't?
Well, first of all, I think that they still will pass the appropriation bills, particularly in the Senate. The Senate will abide by the agreement in terms of the numbers there. And if the House, and we wait and see if the House can pass their lower levels that they have put forward, obviously there will be a conference. And the conference will have to negotiate between the higher Senate and the lower House. But I want to wait and see if the House can even pass appropriation bills. As a consequence, I am one of those pessimists who believes that we will have a continuing resolution. I don't think it benefits either Republican or Democrats 1 year out from the presidential and congressional elections to have a government shutdown. And more importantly, given the provisions that were written into this latest agreement, there are incentives to get these things done, or else there will be a 1% reduction from the 23 level. And that just turns out to be, to your listeners, don't get in the weeds here too far, but on the face of it, it means that defense would be lower than what the agreement was, and non-defense would be higher. That seems like a strange set of incentives that Republicans don't want to have happen, and therefore will be encouraging them to get their legislation done. But I think we're going to have a difficult fall. And maybe we will go through a government shutdown. I always get in trouble when I say this. I'll take a government shutdown any day over a government default. I think the two are much different, but I think it gets confusing to the American public. But we will end up, I think we will eventually get to the appropriations, but it is going to be a real difficult fall given all these moving parts. And by the way, one last thing, Bob, I am nervous about FEMA running out of money before the end of this fiscal year, and the need for a supplemental. And how do they handle a supplemental within this agreement? So we're going to have an interesting appropriation cycle right now, beginning through the end of the fall.